Welcome to Metaphysical Soul Speak. I'm your host, Elena Fox Starks. Hey guys, I arrived in Quito. I am currently sitting outside, and it is decidedly cold at night here. I was burning up, so I'm in short sleeves. I'm sitting in the middle of a grassy lawn looking at this ginormous tree, and the clouds overhead are puffy and pink like cotton candy. I think it's because of the orange-ish lights of the city. It's less stressful on the environment to have these weird orange lights than bright white lights. I think that's why nature has rights in Ecuador. So far, this city is phenomenal. We've been here it took us an hour by plane from Cuenca to Quito, an hour from the airport. We took a bus for an hour, and then we got into a taxi, and that was another 25 minutes to get to our hostel at almost midnight. So it's going to be a little bit quieter, my voice, because I'm in a hostel. And I don't want people to get hostile. So I'm a little quiet, whispering. I hope you guys could still hear me. My other phone is about to die, so we're gonna jump right into A Course in Miracles, lesson 11, and then the Schumann resonance, and then I could finish the introduction. So lesson 11 in A Course in Miracles, and I've been doing this now. This will be the 11th day, because I want to keep my integrity energetically, and this is going to help me right now, especially because I am a little frazzled from just travel. I traveled for 2.5 hours. For me, this is nothing, but my God, you guys, the ascension symptoms. Okay, we're at 99 on the scale. I am in so much pain, I could barely move. I get to this hostel that I booked, and I had no idea. It was like staircases up and staircases down and staircases all around in a crazy ass spiral, and I'm like, I could barely freaking move. And guess what? There was 2 beds left when we got here, and they're on the upper bunk. Oh my God. So I did take an aspirin. I'm hoping that helps my arthritis, which is decidedly an ascension symptom right now. So lesson 11 in A Course in Miracles, to keep our energy intact and full of integrity as we need to during this time of ascension. My meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world. I'm going to read the first paragraph. So, my meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world. This is the first idea we have had that is related to a major phase of the correction process, the reversal of the thinking of the world. It seems as if the world determines what you perceive. Today's idea introduces the concept that your thoughts determine the world you see. Be glad indeed to practice the idea in its initial form, for in this idea is your release made sure. The key to forgiveness lies in it. So my meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world. And they say later in the lesson, and I encourage you, acim.org, please go do the whole lesson. If you haven't done any of them, start whenever you wish. I am not your dictator. You don't have to do it, but if you wish, if you feel compelled and drawn to this is incredible. It's helped me quite a bit. So the introduction to this idea in particular should be practiced as casually as possible, for it contains the foundation for the peace, relaxation, freedom from worry that we are trying to achieve. So yeah, that's a good lesson for me, honestly, right now. If you've been listening to the show for the past week or so, you would know that tomorrow morning I have to get in a taxi and go to the government of Ecuador and give them all the paperwork that it has taken me 1 year to obtain and close to $2,000 to obtain. And I have to pay them $900 on top of that for the privilege of staying in the country 11 more months, because I got to pay for the past 13 months that I've been here kind of illegal. I mean, if I didn't have an appointment, it would have been illegal. Because I had an appointment, I've been legal, but I've been kind of like in a gray area. I do not like the feeling of being in a gray area. I want to do everything by the book. I do want to live in this country for a long time. I mean, don't get me wrong, when my one true love comes and sweeps me off my feet and says, oh, I have a mansion in LA, best believe I'm going to be in LA part of the time. Wherever. I love LA. I mean, if I did have to live in LA, I'll have to look for a writing assignment and write for TV, probably, or movies. But I have an opportunity here to possibly write my own series. So that would be super wonderful. The Americans here have gotten together and they're putting together a television station for gringos. My friend is a professional singer and he sent me a video. And they just performed, they built this huge stage, and it looks every bit as good as anything you've ever seen in LA. But that's because most of the people I've met here are famous or are fringe famous. Like, yeah, I played in Chicago, the band Chicago, for 3 years or whatever, So I have some people that are famous. So it's pretty cool. And so this guy was telling me, yeah, we're putting together a variety show first. I'm like, well, I have a comedy series, a sitcom I want to write about expatriates, about my eccentric story, as well as stories I've heard from other people, like lesbians looking for love. And I mean, just people I've talked to about just various things. It's completely crazy, some of the stuff I've heard. Just looking for love, that could be like a whole year's worth of episodes from various people trying. So, before my phone quits, because I am not going to walk up 4 flights of stairs and plug in my phone and wait 2 hours. My appointment literally is in less than 12 hours. And I've got to sleep, guys. I am so tired. Okay. The scientists for Disclosure.it write today regarding the Schumann resonance. At 8:30 a.m. UTC time, they write, there has been no real movement interruption since yesterday at 3 a.m. UTC. The movements were continuous and also very strong. The first in the new chart occurred at 22:15 UTC time with an amplitude of 49 hertz. From 2:30 UTC, a new series began which led at 4:30 a.m. UTC to today's most powerful peak so far and reached 87 hertz. Oh, wow. That explains a lot. Does it explain anything for you guys? Were you feeling any kind of ascension symptoms lately. For me and my son, my 16-year-old, I mean, he's barely been able to walk or sit, and he's just in so much pain. He's like, oh my God, my whole spine hurts. I'm like, yeah, that explains it. 87 hertz. A further peak of 40 hertz occurred at 7:15, followed shortly after by one more at 55 hertz. Now, the evening report goes on. From 8 UTC, the time of the peak, at 55 hertz, the activity continued in a minor way, with other peaks, one of which at 11:30 a.m. UTC reached 40 hertz. In the last 3 hours, from 14 UTC, the values returned normal. Okay. But wow, I mean, 87, we're still up there, right? Oh man. So I'm sitting here. I'm sitting on what they call poofs. In my country, we call them bean bags. I feel like a little kid. I'm sitting cross-legged on this enormous beanbag. I'm like, seriously, this is like a yard with like 20 beanbags, and they're all a different color. I mean, this is like kind of like one of my ideas of heaven, okay? It's so comfortable. The one thing about this hostel is that they're very adamant and strict about no drugs, no alcohol brought in from outside, blah, blah, blah. But after our appointment, I told my son, I go, well, there is one hostel called Vibes, and it's well known for their weed. I'm like, mommy might need to relax at Vibes Hostel. But then there's this other one, House of David's Friend. And it's apparently this guy's apartment, and he also smokes weed. So I'm like, that's hilarious. This guy opened up his apartment, called it a hostel, and random people just show up and sleep on his couch or in his extra bedroom, like couch surfing. I'm like, oh my God, that's hilarious, right? But I don't blame him. What a cool way to make money. So I was going up and down all these stairs. This is like, did you guys ever see the Escher painting where you can't tell if the stairs are going up or down? That's how I feel. I feel very disorientated in this place. This hostel is enormous. And like I'm staying in a room, it's like the 19th room that has 8 beds in it. This place is huge. And then there's a lot of private, and the private rooms are huge. They're like $40 or $50 a night for a private room. In this place, we've got a restaurant, we've got a bar, we've got a secondary bar where they play games at night. I mean, obviously way earlier than when I got here. Outside, not only do we have all these colorful bean bags, but we've got, I'm looking at, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 decks, but one of the decks has 5 levels to it. I mean, this place is incredible. But I got lost trying to find this place. I'd gone down all these stairs, and I opened the door to what I thought was a garden, and it's a rooftop terrace 2 flights up from the garden. I'm like, oh my God, where the hell's the garden? Because I need to get out here so that no one can hear me recording, and that's why I'm practically whispering my show today. Oh my God. But I got out on the rooftop terrace. There's like 4 chairs. They look very cold, very uncomfortable. And I'm like, oh, this is not going to do. I've got to get down to the garden. And then I look up and I see her. You guys, Quito is like, I'm going to cry, you guys. I express this. Okay. There's this huge monument. They call it La Virgen de Payasa, and it's like Mother Mary, but it's like an angel, and she has these enormous wings, and it's on top of this huge mountain. But this statue, you guys, is so big. It looks like you're maybe like 6 to 8 blocks away from it. But it's like another 20, 30 minutes away. That's how big it is. I mean, by taxi. And she's got these enormous wings and she's like blessing the whole city. I didn't even know this existed. And I'm like right, like kind of near it. I'm in the part of the city where it's very, very obvious and very visible. It's at the top of the mountain. It's only $1 to go and get in. I don't know if I'm going to have time to do it, but I mean, it's incredible. And then we're driving and there's this Gothic basilica. Seriously, I'm blown away. Like, I can't believe. I mean, this is something that you would find in Europe. Like, I mean, no disrespect, but this looks like the Cathedral Notre Dame. This looks just, really close to it. I'm hoping after my appointment I can go to the basilica. Maybe I'll go in there, pray. I know that I read a story a long time ago. I'm going to have to tell you guys about it maybe tomorrow. That might be the topic for tomorrow. There is one saint whose bones are buried in that basilica. It's like 3 blocks from here. And I think it's a saint that was like a school teacher and made it a point to educate and make sure the children in all the tribal societies of Ecuador learned how to read. I think that was what the story was, but don't quote me on it because I don't honestly know right now. I'm hoping that I will be able to figure it all out. But I am having just a tiny bit of, I'm like laying back in a beanbag. This is completely crazy. I feel like a little kindergartner. I think my beanbag is like, I think it's green. I love green. Yeah, it's like a turquoise green. It's like my favorite color. But, so yeah, I was, I don't know. I just feel like, I don't even know what the hell I was saying, to be honest. I am so sorry for my being so tired tonight, guys. Usually I'm wide awake in my house, but now I've been lugging 2 backpacks all over creation. But I'm going to take a quick break. Just please let my little Spotify ad play out so that I get paid my penny. And go grab a drink or, popcorn or some little snack. And I'm going to tell you some crazy stuff just about my trip only. Today, and what it's like to really trust the universe and let go and have faith that everything's going to work out. I think that's what I need to do my show about tonight. My mind has been just only on getting us here. Finding out yesterday that my pictures weren't the right size for that one piece of paper and having to make several trips to several places in the city just to get this one teeny tiny picture. I just feel at this point my life is so freaking ridiculous for it's paper. It's paper, but you have to have the right paper with the right ink on it. Do you guys see how insane this is? It's so arbitrary. It seems so arbitrary. Like you're not a valid human being if you don't have the right piece of paper with the right colors of ink on it, in the right words, in the right way. It has to be just so. All the I's dotted and the T's crossed, and you could pay all your frickin' money, and they could still say, oh, sorry. This has been my greatest test of the past year, trying to get this crap together. Anyway, I'm going to take a quick break, guys. I'm going to come right back. I noticed that they're closing down the restaurant now because she's finished cleaning. Now I'm scared they're going to maybe possibly lock the door. So I'm gonna take a quick break and make sure I'm not gonna be locked outside because it's freaking cold out. I'm like literally in a sleeveless shirt and I'm starting to get cold. All right, I'll be right back. If you're listening to this, you obviously like podcasts, and you probably like music too. Long walks on the beach, romantic dancing under the stars, and oh wait, we're not doing that right now. On Spotify, you can listen to all of that in one place for free, and you don't even need a premium account, which is cool. Free is always good. Spotify has a huge catalog of podcasts on every topic, including the one you're listening to right now. On Spotify, you can follow your favorite podcasts so you never miss an episode. Download episodes to listen to offline wherever you are, including your long romantic walks on the beach. Also, one thing I love about Spotify is that you can easily share what you're listening to with your friends via Spotify's integrations with the social platforms like Instagram. So that makes it really, really versatile. Just search for Metaphysical Soul Speak on the Spotify app or browse podcasts in the Your Library tab. And follow me, of course, don't forget, so that you'll never again miss an episode of Metaphysical Soul Speak. Spotify is the world's leading music streaming service, and now it can be your go-to for podcasts too. Thank you guys so much for supporting Metaphysical Soul Speak on Spotify. All right, guys. So, yeah, having faith and trust in the universe. I'm going to tell you guys about my story. Just about traveling, just all the things I needed to do. And first thing first is that I had not heard from my oldest kid for 12 days. And I kept asking, my spiritual guidance, hey, is my kid alive? Is he in jail? Has he been institutionalized? Where the hell is my kid? And I kept getting the answer that everything's fine. He's fine. He's having fun. He's busy in his life. And he's got a new relationship going. He found a gay man to accept him for being transgender, so that's pretty freaking cool. And if you guys can hear this, I feel so crazy. Seeing his beanbag, it sounded like such a great idea. Now I'm like, I'm a 50-year-old woman trying to act like a 12-year-old. This is not working out for me. I'm putting another one on top of me like a blanket. Oh my God, my life is crazy. Okay. Well, hey, at least I could always serve as a hilarious example. Oh my God, what the fuck? This thing smells. Oh my God, I put it on top of me. It's wet and it smells. And they did mention something about... Oh God. Well, if I die, it was nice knowing y'all. Oh my God. Okay. So anyway, I kept asking, I kept asking my child's higher self. I kept asking my spiritual team, like, hey, is my kid okay? What's going on? And my spiritual team kept saying, yeah, everything's cool, basically. So after 12 days, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go to Quito. He doesn't even know what city I'm in. I know what city he's supposed to be in. And I just feel it's weird. I just felt uncomfortable my kid not knowing where the hell I am. Do you guys understand? Like, I don't even know why that makes a difference so much, but like, what if something happened to me and he wouldn't know? And I don't know. It's just all these weird thoughts. And so I've been reminded constantly for like the past week to have faith in the universe. Just trust. Everything's going to be okay. And even if something did happen, still everything's going to be okay. Everything is an illusion. We're living in the Matrix. You all know that. We're in the ascension. I know my kid's going to be okay. I've asked and asked and asked my higher guidance, and I keep getting the answer that yes, it's going to be all right. And I keep telling you guys to have faith in the universe. But when, you're pushed to the test and, you're brought to the test and you're pushed to the brink, it's kind of like, yeah, everything's going to be okay. And yeah, trust, blah, blah, blah. But then the panic sets in and the anxiety sets in and all the emotions set in. And it ends up being a little hard, to continuously have that faith. So that was the first thing. And then the second thing is, am I even going to have, I went through like all the things with the Spanish people, like, translating stuff into Spanish for me. And 4 false starts. And I had the one guy lined up and he said $5 a page. And then he flipped it on. He told me he lives in Venezuela and he'll do it for $5 a page. And then as soon as I sent him all the stuff, and I spent so much money, like it was like $7 or something for the copies and $7 for the taxi. And it was just like, it's not a lot of money, but it's money on top of money on top of money on top of money. Like I told you guys, I'm like in this thing like almost $2,000, $3,000 deep, almost. My plane ticket here was $120 for 2 people, and going home $120 for 2 people, and $20 for the taxi. And it's just on and on and on. It's like, this guy flipped it on me and said, I live in New York. I need $35 a page. I cannot translate your papers for less than $35 a page. I have a family to support here in New York. I'm like, oh, well, lucky you. I had to leave my country in order to be able to live. I own a house and I can't afford the bills, just the normal basic service, like electricity and water. And just for electricity and water, those 2 bills alone in Detroit cost more money than I make per month now. So obviously I've got an adolescent I've got to take care of. I've got to buy him clothes. And my God, he goes through shoes like so fast. And thank God he's growing and he's doing well. But I had to live in another country just to make the ends meet, And they put these completely impossible conditions on me. I was starting to make really good money, and then all this happened. My husband died, and I had to put trust and faith in the universe. And I was told by the government that I will lose my income if I marry. I will lose my income if I have a boyfriend living in my house. I will lose my income if any other person helps me pay my bills. I will lose my income if I get a job. So all the jobs that I could find would have made me basically the amount of money I'm already making. And then on top of that, I would have had to pay for taxi or car and gas. And it's like got to the point where, well, why? So I've been put since 2010, I've had to have faith in the universe that I'm going to be okay, even though I'm going to go crazy being single for 9 fucking years, 11 years. Literally, they forced me in a position to be single. I could date, but I can't move forward in a relationship. And usually people come to a point where they go, yeah, but you can't marry, or, well, I was looking for something more, or I want to move in together, or blah, blah, blah. It usually gets to that point. Lima I trusted the universe, and I ended up having a boyfriend. And this was so amazing because he did not pay for any of my bills, and he lived next door. So he would come and sleep in my house sometimes, but he didn't live with me, so I did trust the universe, and I followed my guidance, and I had situations like that. But I've kind of been put in a position where I can't really have the, what I would want, just a normal frickin' life again, having a relationship and having, so I've constantly been put in a position lately to just trust, have faith. So today I set out and my son, when he found out how much I had left to the last minute, he was so mad at me, and he's completely justified. He's like, Mom, you know that you've had like a year and a half to get this crap together, and we're only now going to the ATM. I'm like, I know. I'm like, you know what? Let me go to the ATM. Let me go to the ATM and get the $900 out. And you go ahead and go buy us gum for the plane. And so he went to go buy gum. I went to the ATM. I took $300 out, and I went to get the second $300, and they don't have enough money in the ATM. Oh my God. There's only 2 banks in all of Cuenca that allow me to get $300 out. Every time I get money out, it's $20 extra. So I went to the second ATM that I know for a fact gives out $300. Oh, well, but guess what? They only give out $200 now. Oh my God. So I went to a bank that I know for a fact doesn't. And you know what? The universe showed me to continue to trust, because that ATM actually they now changed their policy and they can get $300 out, and I was able to get the $600. So that was the first thing today. And then the second thing was, now we have to go to the different mall where they have pictures, because every mall has different things. So we had to go get our pictures. And it didn't look like it did the last time. For some reason, I couldn't remember where the hell the shop was. And my son said, well, that place says passport photos. Let's go there instead of the place you were thinking. And I'm like, okay, but I know the other place was cheap, so this place looks expensive. But I trusted. I trusted the universe. I'm going to not let myself be in control all the time. And my son is really intelligent, so I'm going to go with what he says. So we walk in, and the lady says, well, you have to go upstairs. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I get upstairs, and I'm like, this is insane. I remember this being a basement. And I know it's just my own memory being faulty, because I was so stressed out about getting my passport photos, and now these have to be smaller photos, so it's kind of crazy. But so I just trusted. And for $20 later, we have both now the digital copies emailed to us, as well as 6 teeny tiny photos of each of us, which I don't know. I mean, imagine what it's like when you give the government like 1 or 2 photos, and now you have 4 left. If anyone opens like your drawer at home and there's like 4 tiny pictures of yourself in the drawer, you're going to look like a freaking psychopath. But I'm like, okay, well, you know what? Whatever. I'm just, so you can't just buy 2. You have to buy 6. It's just the policy. I'm like, all right, fine. We're just going to look like psychopaths. Maybe we'll like hand them out like Valentine's, like we're in 3rd grade again. So I trusted my son, and it turned out to be exactly the right place. And then I just, I said, well, let's eat here. Let's eat in the food court. And I get there, and everything looks so fattening and so yucky. Like, I don't want rice. I don't want chicken. My body's like, ugh, I don't want ice cream. Yuck. I don't want anything yucky, And I didn't know what to do. And I'm like, well, I'm just going to fill out my paperwork, handing my son money. You go buy whatever you want. And we'll just sit here at this table. I'll fill out the paperwork. You do your thing. I started to fill out the paperwork, accidentally put that I was married, had to scratch it out. I hope to God they accept the paperwork, because it's just where the box was, I'm just trusting the universe. I did my pendulum last night, and God said, trust the universe. You're going to get it. Like, what are the percentage chance on this timeline that they're going to say, oh, hell no, get out of my country? And the chance was 0%. There's not even 1% chance that they're going to say no tomorrow. And I'm still trusting the universe, because I'm still scared. I'm a little like, I don't know. I mean, I've never wanted to live in a place so much as I want to live here, if that makes sense. I know, and my higher guidance keeps saying, you have to be in Ecuador to finish the ascension. You have to be here. And I'm like, but what if I want to go move to France? I mean, France. And the universe says, no, you have to stay in Ecuador. I'm going to trust. I'm like, yeah, but the men in Spain are pretty sexy. I mean, I speak their language, and I've met a couple Spaniards that just flipped my noodle, and I kind of liked them, and they're very sweet and elegant people and gorgeous. Oh my God, gorgeous. But good people too. I mean, just everything. And I'm still told, no, you have to stay in Ecuador. And I'm like, okay. So, and it's like I've been feeling like maybe I'm wrong, maybe I don't belong, but no, my heart guidance says you have to trust the universe. So I'm telling you this to you guys because I don't know if you struggle the same way that I do, but it's always a constant struggle with me. Like God will tell me something directly. I'll hear his voice inside of me, and I'll go, okay. And then I'll go, yeah, but it's like, who the hell am I to argue with God, right? Who the hell am I to argue with my spiritual team, which is more than God? It's like a bunch of spiritual masters that help me. And who am I to argue with my own higher self? And yet I do, because I'm stubborn and I'm a Virgo and I'm Irish, I guess. I don't know if it's an Irish thing or not, but, or maybe it's a German part of me. I don't know. Well, I'm like really, really stubborn. I'm really stubborn. So I'm kind of still stuck in this place where I have to trust. I've got to trust. So I finished the paperwork, and I said to my son, I go, there's like 4 or 5 things that I literally can't answer because each answer might have a different answer. And I also messed up because I put my birthday wrong. Everybody in the whole wide world says the day and then the month and then the year, which makes a whole boatload of sense, except the United States is still like the month and then the day. So I screwed that up. I mean, just so many stupid things I screwed up on that paper. My son says, do you have another piece of paper? I'm like, no, I'm going to trust the universe. He's like, you know what, Mom? I don't want to be deported because, like, you weren't prepared. You've had a year. And he's like so upset with me. He's like, I can't even talk about this. He's like, I'm so upset. And I'm like, well, I love you, and I'm sorry, and I guess I'm just going to trust the universe. I was like, well, he's been praying all week. He's been going to the river and lighting candles and constantly praying and getting into his spirituality because, and maybe that's part of it. Maybe my serious problem with procrastination and my lack of trust has formulated in my kid the idea that he's got to lean upon his own understanding, as it says in the Bible. And then I read A Course in Miracles, and it's like, well, nothing I see is real. I mean, we are living in the Matrix, and any thoughts I think aren't even real. All my thoughts are meaningless anyway, so why have any thoughts either way about the outcome? Why should I even focus on it or be upset about it? So anyway, I get to this place. I finished doing everything I possibly could do for the paperwork. And I'm like, well, for right now I'm done. We're going to just have faith. And we're going to pray. And right now we're going to let it go. That's all we can do. I have to have faith in the universe. So this lady 3 times asked me to try her candy. I'm looking at these little pink candies with powder on them, look like not baby powder, powder sugar. And I'm like, thanks, but no thanks. I need to eat something. The 3rd time I said it, she says, well, why don't you? I go, I need to eat something, but I don't know what. She said, why don't you go over down there to that girl's booth over there? There was this random fair. I'm like, okay, this is interesting. The universe is showing me something different. I never expected there would be a fair inside the food court at the mall. And I went down there, and this woman was from Bogota. She's a Rola. That's what they call themselves, Rola or Rolo. People in Bogota are really cool people. I have not met one uncool person from Bogota yet. I'm sure they exist, but I haven't met any. And she says, well, I have this juice for you. And she made the most incredible healthy juice. And it made my mind get extremely clear. My body felt energized. And I just felt so happy. And all of a sudden, I had no hunger and I didn't need food. From the food court, all of it looked like, blech, I don't want any of that. I just want the juice. And I felt so good. And it made my stomach feel good. It made my blood sugar balanced. And it was incredible. And it was absolutely free. I'm like, oh my God. I left everything to the last freaking minute. Maybe. I mean, I'm not going to make an excuse for being a procrastinator, but maybe that's what the universe's plan was for me, right? So then I go back. I told the lady, thank you. I'm so grateful. And then I noticed she's selling these, I want to call them halwa, but they're like basically sesame seeds, super packed densely with honey, not sugar, just honey and sesame seeds, nothing else. And so I bought several of those, and then this is another weird thing. Okay. This is the other thing. She says, I have this candy. I want you to try this candy. I'm like, God, enough of the candy. All right, lady, I didn't say that, but I was like, God, it's like, so why is she's being a pusher right now. She's pushing her candy on me. I don't want to have your candy. Okay, finally, I'm like, okay, fine. I'll try your damn candy. I put one of those candies in my mouth, and it was like a very thin shell. It looked like a very hard candy. I thought it was like grapefruit flavor. Had a very thin shell, and it burst open. And inside the candy, you guys, was whiskey. She's like, yeah, this is why you needed it. I'm like, where are you from? She says, Bucaramanga, Colombia. I'm like, oh my God, she's from Bucaramanga. So then I told her, I know a famous singer from there. And she knew her name. I'm like, I can't believe you know this lady. She was the first person I met in Medellin, like 3.5 years ago. And she knows her. I'm like, oh my God. There's all these teeny tiny signposts. When I was sitting there filling out the paperwork, there's this lovely lady from Manabi, which is on the coast, north coast, south of Esmeraldas in Ecuador. And she was selling these bracelets that she hand makes, and she's working her little butt off just doing these intricate bracelets. They're incredible, like very finely detailed work, and they're just pretty basic as a design goes, but I know she's working her butt off. She's trying so hard. And she's selling these things that the material would cost 30 cents, but she's selling them for $5, but 3 for 10. And I said, I'm going to buy 3 for 10. I'm going to buy one for my son's girlfriend, and I'll buy 2 for me. And maybe, maybe if I find somebody who one of these is for, I'll gift it something, And then I started looking through her stuff, and she has a Celtic love knot, not the one of 3, but the one with 4 sections. And it's a very rare Celtic love knot. It's one that I thought about getting a tattoo of a long time ago, and here it is. And it's in my favorite color. Like the bracelet part is like this moss green, one of my favorite colors. And then this other one was my favorite color, turquoise, with an Om symbol. Trust the universe. The Om symbol is the sound that the universe makes as it expands. When you chant Om, like at the correct frequency, not what I just did because I'm trying to be quiet, but when you do it at the right frequency, scientists discovered only like a couple decades ago that it is the exact sound that the rishis and the people in India have been like using their voices to make the exact sound. And this symbol is a symbol of that sound that the universe makes as it is expanding. Like the universe, everything makes a sound. Did you guys know the sun makes a sound? The moon, Jupiter, all the planets have their own Hertz frequency sound that they put out. You could go to the NASA.gov website and look it up. some of the planets I'm like, ooh, that feels like a bad energy. And some of them are pretty cool. So it's worth checking out. It's worth an afternoon or an evening checking out for like an hour. It's pretty cool. But, so I was, shocked that this candy like had whiskey in it. I'm like, oh, what are the other flavors? They were vodka, anise liqueur, amaretto. And there was all these dishes of candy, and I started eating them again. And I ate so many of them. I started to get drunk on her candy, and she was laughing so hard. And then I bought like, I don't know, $12 worth of stuff from her. And she was like, and she gave me the biggest hug. The lady at the bracelet booth gave me a big hug. And I just felt like, okay, if I had gone to get the money on a different day or the pictures on a different day, I would not have met people that were willing, so open-hearted and so sweet and so willing to give me the love and attention they gave me, and then I gave them love and attention back. And it was like everything kind of was orchestrated in a way in which I started to relax. Obviously because of the candy with the alcohol in it, but besides that, like the juice and and my son is like stressing out. I'm like, don't stress. All of this is showing me something. He's like, what? And I go, we have to trust the universe. There was a man who says, I want you to try this hat on. I tried this hat on, and it looked incredible on me. It was like $38, and I'm like, it's going to get crushed in my bag. I'm going to Quito. He goes, oh, well, my store's in Quito, and you can always come by, and he hands me his card. I'm like, wow. And by the way, I'm a Venezuelano, and I live here with my wife. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And so he was so sweet. And like everyone at this fair was so sweet. And all the interactions, all the exchanges, all were there like I was there to help them, and they were here to help me. That was the energy I got. The lady who I bought the bracelets from, excuse me, she says, so anytime anyone hands you anything, whether it's money or an object, always take it with your left hand, because that's your receiving hand, and that's how you're going to always receive more in your life. Just for that alone, how profound. I had no idea about that. Out of all the stuff that I know, there's so much yet to learn that, I'm sitting here on a beanbag in the middle of the frickin' night in Quito, Ecuador, like a little kid cross-legged, realizing that it's like the more you know, the less you know. I just have to trust the universe. Everything's going to work out. I think I'll have my days in France. I'll have my time in Spain. I'll get to visit Italy, maybe even own a place sometime, or maybe get to rent a place sometime. But I need to be in Ecuador right now, and that's what the universe is showing me. So what is the universe showing you? What little tiny interactions and exchanges, when you do something and you're on the right path, the universe is going to show you all these signs along the way. My son told me he's thinking about being an Instagram model and becoming a fashion model. And he's saying, look, Mom, he's like, I know I'm good looking enough. I know I'm tall enough. At least I'm getting there. And I'm thin, so I look taller. And if I could be a model and make money, even for commercial print ads, you don't have to be super tall for that. He's like, maybe I could put myself through school, or maybe I could support myself while I'm finishing my degree. I'm like, oh yeah, okay. Well, we're going to put the feelers out to the universe. And he's like, well, you need to call people. I'm like, I called a few people, and they are all like, oh, well, we need only women. And it seems kind of like sexist. I only like women, only 16-year-old girls. I'm like, ew, that's a bad energy, So I just said, we're going to trust the universe. We're going to trust the universe, and everything's going to be okay. I just know it. So guess who I sat next to on the plane? I sat next to an Ecuadorian fashion designer. And he has been designing the most glorious gowns. And I'm telling you right now, this guy, Francisco, he has talent. I mean, the dresses he showed me are every bit as good as anything I've ever seen on a Hollywood runway. I kid you not. I mean, this guy's going places. And he says, I'm going to be in Los Angeles next week. He has a fashion show that he's going to put on in Los Angeles next week. He's the real deal. He showed me his Instagram and he says, oh, girl, I got to just add you. We've got to be best friends, you know. He's like, when we go to Cuenca, you know, when we were back in Cuenca. And I'm like, yeah, for sure. So he's sitting there with his friend who is his boyfriend. Turns out it's his boyfriend. And they're going to Gay Pride next month. In Ecuador, we celebrate Pride in July. Like, so now I've got someone to go to Pride with. And by the way, he needs possibly a male model. And my son, he looked at my son, he goes, ooh, he's guapo. I go, yeah, he's handsome. He's like, well, that's awesome. Yeah, sure, I will absolutely look. You know, so I just found a connection for my son to become a fashion model. Maybe with him, maybe not with him, I don't know. But he has connections to the rest of the Latin American fashion industry. I mean, trust the universe, right? Trust the universe. Whether something comes of it or not, I don't know, but trust the universe. And usually people, when they look at me or talk to me, they're a little bit quiet or shy or timid. And I feel the same way. So I feel like I can never make a connection in the airport while waiting for the plane. This steward, or not stewardess, I don't know, but she worked for the airlines. I don't know what her job was. She didn't work on the plane, but she took the tickets before you get on the plane. And it's a really tiny airport. You've got to walk out onto the tarmac. You've got to walk up the rickety stairs. You've got to step into the plane from the staircase that's on wheels. I mean, it's really, really, really small airport. I was shocked that there were 6 flights going out tonight. I mean, I thought there's only 4 a day or something. They've actually almost doubled their flights. I couldn't believe it. And the flight was full. There's 4 million people here in Quito. Some people were here to visit. Some people were here coming home. So this woman was so friendly, and I swear she was flirting with me. I don't want to self-flatter myself, but I was like, oh. I'm like, I don't know. She's beautiful. Like, I kind of wanted to ask her out, but I didn't do it. I was just, oh, she's so beautiful, but not going to do it. I can't do it. If it's meant to be, I'll run into her another time, but something about the little freckles on her nose. I was like, oh. And her smile, and she was so friendly and open, and she says, I'm crossing my fingers for you that your appointment goes well and you get to stay in Ecuador. And I was blown away by her hospitality, her friendly nature. And that was yet one more signpost. Somebody's welcoming me to the country, wants me to be here. I mean, even in that moment, I was wanted here. I haven't felt that energy, I don't know, maybe in Colombia 3 years ago. Didn't feel it in Detroit so much. A couple people, I met cool people, but I didn't feel the energy of, I really am glad you're here. I really want you here kind of energy. And whether she's flirting with me or not, I have no idea, but there's something different in that energy. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like the signs that you are on the right path, things are going to come together in a very weird and unique way. Even if you put things off the last minute, it's all somehow going to work out. You're going to have little signposts and surprises along the way to take you out of your own head. You are going to feel an energy that was different before. When you get on the right path, the energy changes and you feel welcomed on that path. Instead of feeling the energy of fighting and clawing and scrapping your way to the top, and people are against you and backbiting and backstabbing and trying to hurt you and trying to get into your pants or into your wallet or into your house to steal your stuff. I mean, like, those are the energies I've been dealing with for 3 years. Well, 6 years rather. But today, on my way to getting residency, everything pointed to yes, 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 yes. Every taxi driver we had was sweet and accommodating. Every person we met was just, the energy was so incredibly wonderful. Everything was sweet. Everything was sweet. The energy of sweetness and welcoming. The energy when you're on the right path switches and changes. The energy of friendship, meeting new people along the way is another sign. Meeting new people. I mean, I met several people who are very sweet and nice to me, but the 2 people on the plane I met tonight, one is in public relations and one is a fashion designer, and they're boyfriends. So they're in the industry and they're in the community. And it's like, thank God. Now it looks like I'm going to have new friends when I get back to Cuenca. Oh my God. Yay, right? Yay. So there was that. And then, even though I'm sitting here in the middle of this yard and I'm a little bit uncomfortable, and I'm in a city of 4 million people, and I talked to the taxi driver and he said, 10 years ago, this wasn't a terribly safe city. There were some places that were a little dangerous, but now the crime rates are down. People are happy. And this is a really, really wonderful place to live. He said, we hear stories of places like Mexico where it's now increasingly more dangerous with more violence in general towards tourists and everything. And he said, this is a different place. Ecuador is so different from all the other places you hear about. So hearing good news along the path is another sign. Confirming your suspicions when you have positive ideas and energy. You feel, I feel good energy. And then having that, the affirmations of that, the confirmation of that. And then the friendship energy, the good vibe energy. All of these things are signs that you are on the right path. And these are signs that you can trust in the universe to have your back at every turn. And also not being attached to the outcomes and accepting whatever comes your way, accepting whatever your, whatever your fate is beyond what you can do. You can only do what you can do. And then the universe is going to have your back. As long as I go to the appointment, as long as I make the application. You guys, I was going to have a backup plan and be a little sneaky and make another appointment before my appointment, just in case it didn't work out, so that I would still be in compliance with the law, so that I would still be able to stay where I love to stay. And there was like pictures of construction guys, and it says this is under construction in Spanish. It's what it said, Zona Construcción. I'm like, oh my God, one of my backup plans is gone. And then the message came, just trust in the universe. All right. No more running away from being legal, illegal. I'm facing the music tomorrow, one way or the other. And I have 30 days to, if they say no, I have 30 days to get out of here or marry somebody. And if they do have me deported, which is basically telling me to leave in 30 days, then our choice is to leave, and then we're welcome back in 2 years. But you know what? I'm going to have faith in the universe. You've got to have faith in the universe too. We're all in this together. We all create our own reality. My thoughts are meaningless, and everything I see really has no more meaning than the meaning I give it. This chair I see really has no meaning. This beanbag I see really has no meaning. You know, this art I see has no meaning. It's what this message is all about, guys. It's like telling you about my story, but also how we need to trust the universe and what are those signs. And those are the signs. Everything that I experienced today. And also at the last minute, like how did my son's girlfriend's friend at the very last minute come at me with, I will charge you $4 a page. I will take care of all of the copies and extra copies for you. I will go to the notary public with you. I will do all of the conversating for you for $4 a page. Everyone in Cuenca charges $10. The guy in New York, $35. He said $5 and then $35. And here I get the lowest possible price, and it ends up being $44, which means the angels are at your side. This whole process for the past couple weeks now. It seems like the timing was incorrect before. The timing seems correct now, regardless of the outcome. I'm not going to attach myself one way or another to the outcome. I'm not going to attach myself to the outcome. I'm going to trust the universe. And you know what? I hope that this is inspiring you to do the same. Do not be attached to the outcomes. Trust your higher guidance. Trust your spiritual team. Trust your hunches. And look for all the teeny tiny little signs along the way. As soon as I said that, I looked up and saw a police car, like the red and blue light on the side of this house next door. But the reason this is a safe and secure zone, and even the taxi driver said, this is a safe and secure zone. That right there is a sign. It's because the police, they doubled up on the police, and all they do is they drive around in the patrol cars and flash their lights, and everybody feels safe now. The police here, at least, are okay. And I'm still looking up at the most glorious sky with a waning moon that is bright as hell. It's so bright. And the stars. And the black cat that just went on the fence onto the other side of the property. Different house. Don't you guys feel the difference in energy here? I don't have a million motorcycles and honks and everything. I mean, when I normally record my show, it's a bunch of traffic, and I'm inside an apartment 3 flights up with all my windows and doors closed. And now, right now, I'm sitting outside under a moon that's absolutely beautiful, and it's lighting my path. You know, it's all a sign. One way or the other. The outcome has no meaning. Except the meaning I give it. If I choose to give it no meaning, then why would I worry or stress about it? Reality is what I project out with my mind. I'm not tied to the outcome. I trust the universe. That's how I think we all need to be. Not tied to the outcome, trust the universe. And be at peace. That's all I can say, guys. I am cold. I gotta go to bed and try to figure out how to climb up that. The ladders are at an angle, so it's not terrible, but gotta go up there and figure out how to do everything they need to do. But I'm going to trust in the universe. I love each and every one of you. Thank you. Thank you for being my listener. Thank you for tuning in, liking, subscribing, and sharing with your family and friends who are also of a spiritual mind. We're still looking for our hashtag Soul Tribe, still looking for our hashtag Soul Family. That's how you're going to find me on Twitter. Just look for hashtag Soul Family. You'll see what I tweeted yesterday and every other day. Every other day or every few days I tweet something from the show. Yesterday it was a picture of my pendulum, and there was a mysterious pink energy hovering above my notebook. I don't know what that is. No matter what filter I used, it was the same. When I saw it with my eyes, it wasn't there. Took a picture of the camera, like, whoa. Pretty interesting, yeah? And it's very similar to the color I see the healing grid that's beneath our feet that I helped create with other light workers. And one quick note on what happened to me yesterday. This is a really weird one. In my bathroom, doing whatever, I think I was getting ready to brush my teeth. And I was thinking about nothing in particular. I'd just woken up. And I happened to flash my eyes quickly downward at my arm. And on my arm flashed a I don't know how to explain it other than it looked like, if any of you have ever gone to an amusement park or a bar or like a fraternity party, and they stamp your hand or your wrist, and you can't see what they stamped on you until you put it under a black light, and it's like a neon yellow or a neon green or somewhere in between those two colors, and you're like, oh, cool. And then you don't really see it out in the normal light. It has to go under a special black light. Well, that's what I saw on my arm, and it was like a series of 7 numbers or letters. I don't know if it was even in English or if it was actual number. I don't know what it was. It flashed so rapidly on my upper arm near the crook where your arm, bends on the inside part of my lower arm. And it was on my forearm. It was so weird. It was like I'd gotten a tattoo with this neon ink that only flashes bright underneath the black light. And it was just for half a second I saw it, I'm like, whoa. And I realized I saw a glimpse into the future. So, a hashtag new powers coming on? I don't know what it was. And then later on, about an hour or so later, I saw a glimmer of it just for a split second, like a nanosecond, not even a full second. I saw it again, and I'm like, oh, this is really weird. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it means. I told my son, I hope that means that it's a tattoo that they give you when you get aboard the spaceship and you start working for the Galactic Federation. And he's like, Mom, maybe we can't talk about this right now until we both have had our coffee. I'm like, yeah, I agree. Maybe I'm just saying crazy stuff, but I don't know what that meant. What does it mean? Does it mean I'm going to go to an exclusive club? Am I going to get a crazy tattoo? I don't know. Was it in Russian? Was it in Hebrew? I don't know what language it was. It was a series of 7, letters or numbers. I don't even know. Maybe it was in a foreign language, and I say foreign, I mean fuera la tierra, outside of the earth, possibly. No say, I don't know. I don't know, guys. It was just one of those weird things. If you guys have had anything like that happen, I definitely want to hear about it. Definitely. I mean, this world is getting weirder and weirder. It's getting wilder and wilder. You don't even need to do drugs. Hashtag freebie. It's not even a hashtag LSD flashback. It's stuff I never imagined possible. Not even on acid. So I have some other stuff to talk to you guys about tomorrow. I just thought of it, so I'm going to remember it. Remember, I just touched my forehead. I've got a thing where if I touch my forehead, I'll remember it when I touch my forehead next. It's a neat little trick I learned in hypnotherapy school. Well, someday I'll teach you guys about those. They're called anchors. Anyway, I have to go. I got to publish my show. I got to get my butt into bed, guys. I am so tired. I love each and every one of you, but I'm signing off now with peace and love and joy and the high vibes of the holy fifth dimension. Until next time, peace. Metaphysical Soul Speak is run on sponsors and listener support. This means listeners like you. If you are so inclined to support my efforts and my little podcast, please visit me at anchor.fm/metaphysical and pledge an amount of your choosing today. Thank you.